Hi guys, it's Ben Heath from Lead Guru. In this video, I'm going to talk about how the Facebook ads reporting delay that was implemented because of iOS 14 might be messing up the data that is coming into your Facebook ad account, which is going to make it impossible for both you and Facebook to optimize your campaigns properly, which can have a massive negative impact on your Facebook ad results. I'll also be talking about what you can do to counteract that, what you can do to fix the situation, which is obviously super important. So if you've seen some weird data coming in through into your Facebook ad account that perhaps doesn't seem accurate, or you've seen a drop off in performance, I think you're going to find this video very, very helpful. Before I get into it, I just want to very quickly ask you to smash that like button. That really helps me out and is much appreciated. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Facebook advertising related content just like this, keeping you up to date and on the cutting edge. Okay, so I'm in Facebook support document here on, well, we're going to run through a number of things, and I want you to pay close attention because I think this stuff is really, really important if you're running Facebook ads. The first thing I'm going to show you is around the reporting delay itself. So this is Facebook support doc on how the Apple iOS 14 release may affect your ads and reporting. Now, this was talked about, and this article was released in advance of the iOS 14 changes. We're obviously past that now, but we have seen this come into play. So there's tons of information in here. I'd encourage you to go through it if you have the time. If not, I'm going to help you pick out the most important parts. I've released videos already on iOS 14 and the changes, but this is a specific element that not a lot of Facebook advertisers are aware of. I'm going to go ahead and click on this reporting limitations section, right? And what I'm going to focus on here is delayed reporting. So what you can see is Facebook say here, real-time reporting will not be supported and data may be delayed up to 3 days. Now, we have seen a reporting delay come into effect, no question about it. Is it 3 days? It doesn't seem to be that long from what we can see. But one of the things I'm hearing a lot of Facebook advertisers say is they will say things like, the data that I'm seeing in my Facebook ad account does not match, let's say, the conversions I'm generating when I look at my Shopify store or my Google Analytics data or verify it with a data source. And I think a lot of that is some inaccuracy, and we're going to get onto what that means in a minute. But also a lot of that is simply a reporting delay. Like if you're trying to match up the conversions that took place today in your ad account with the conversions that took place, say, today within your CRM or Shopify, they may not match because of the reporting delay. It may take a few days for that data to filter through to your ad account. Now, obviously, this doesn't affect all campaign types. It's mainly app install campaigns and then, of course, conversion campaigns, which I know will be a lot of the campaigns that you guys are running. But that's the first thing to think about, is that there is a reporting delay. Okay, that's the first part. So remember that. Second part we're going to go on to is around modeled data. So we know, in fact, let me click over here now. We know that the people that are iOS 14 and above users, or even people within the European Union, you can see Facebook talks about it here. Recent regulations and industry announcements show how privacy and data expectations are evolving. Examples such as changes include the ATT, app tracking transparency requirements, which was all about the iOS 14 stuff. That's the prompt that popped up that you've almost certainly seen by now if you have an iPhone. From Apple and in the European region, the e-privacy directive, both of which prohibit certain stuff. So a lot of people within the EU, and as I said, most of the iOS 14 users, we're not able to as accurately track their data. So we've got the reporting delay, and we've got the fact that we can't accurately track the actions that those people are taking on our website. Those two things combined are leading to Facebook using or creating modeled conversions, right? So what exactly does that mean? Well, we don't quite know. Facebook, if you read through this document, which again is something I could recommend, Facebook's fairly vague. I mean, look, you can see this how conversion modeling works section here, and they say modeling uses aggregated data from different sources to account for conversions we're unable to count directly due to various factors, including cross-site tracking limitations. The various factors being the two things I talked about, the lack of data from not being able to track those people, and also the reporting delay, which is, I said, underappreciated, but a significant part of this. So what's Facebook doing? They're basically making a very educated guess in a lot of scenarios. So the data that you are seeing within your Facebook ad account, particularly when you first launch a Facebook ad campaign, is going to be a mixture of, well, delayed and absent, which is leading Facebook to fill in the holes with model data. So what's Facebook doing here? I think we can fairly safely assume, as I said, we're not 100% sure, but we can fairly safely assume that Facebook has all sorts of data like, we know that stores like yours, when they advertise, let's say you've got a Shopify store, they converted a 1.8% conversion rate from traffic to conversions. Therefore, we're going to assume that in our model calculation. Okay, they're also going to use tons of other factors, so it's going to be more accurate than just a blanket average, but that's what they're going to use. So if, for example, Facebook can see that they've sent you, 100 clicks that day, they may be registering, you may see 2 purchases within your ad account, and then you actually look at your Shopify store and you're like, hang on, I generated 5 purchases, or hang on, I generated no purchases. That's inaccurate. And you're right, it's because the reporting delay means that the real data hasn't come through yet where you have it, and there's some data holes, so Facebook's filling those in. So particularly when a campaign is new or an ad set is new, it's very easy to look at your data and be like, that's just not accurate. That's just not right. That doesn't match up to reality. And that's led a lot of Facebook advertisers to be really frustrated and think, oh, is Facebook just lying? Are they making stuff up? And they kind of are making stuff up to some extent. But there are ways that you can significantly reduce the impact of this. The first is to fully factor in the reporting delay. What does that mean? It means you have to wait. You have to wait much more than most Facebook advertisers previously did to assess performance and then optimize accordingly. So if, for example, you were used to pre-iOS 14 running a Facebook ad campaign, taking a look at the results 12 hours after you launched it or 24 hours after you launched it and making adjustments, you can't do that. Don't do it. It's really going to hurt your results if you do. Remember, if we go back here, the reporting delay can be up to 3 days. As I said, I think on average it's quite a bit less than that, but it can be up to 3 days, okay? That means that you need to wait at least that length of time to assess results, ideally significantly more, because obviously, let's say you're running ads for those 3 days and then real data starts coming through, well, you're always playing catch up. So I think that unless you're operating with a massive budget and you're getting lots and lots of data coming through faster, you want to be assessing results on a 7 to 10 day basis minimum. Could be longer depending on how many conversions, for example, you're generating, but a 7 to 10 day basis minimum to account for that reporting delay. Now, that's the you part of it here, okay? That's as the Facebook advertiser, I'm gonna be brave, I'm going to not adjust things, I'm going to not panic, and I'm going to wait 7 to 10 days. And what you will find is that the data is much more accurate. So if, for example, you look at today's data in Facebook ads versus, say, what you can see coming through Google Analytics, quite inaccurate. But if you look over a 2-week period, there will be a difference between the two. There always is, but that difference will be much smaller. It won't be like, in a 1-day basis, it might be like, Facebook saying you generated 5 conversions, you generated none, or you generated 15. It could be way off. It's going to be not quite the same, but much more close, if that makes sense. It also means that you can accurately make assessments. So after the 7 to 10 days, you can go in and go, ad A is performing well, ad B is not performing well, ad C is performing well, let's pause B, let's keep running A and C. You can't do that if you start making adjustments too quickly. You just can't do it, okay? So that's the first thing, to help overcome the reporting delay issues, give it a lot more time. It also helps with the model data because, as I said, as Facebook gets the data through, basically what seems to be happening is that those first few days, Facebook will put in model data, so basically their best guess. And then as the reporting delay, sort of as you catch up, Facebook fills in, they change the data and it becomes more accurate. That's why I said over a longer time period, you'll see more accurate data coming through. It's almost like we've done our best guess, we'll wait for the real data to come in and then we'll put that in there instead. It's not quite as clean as that because some data is missing, so they need to fill in some holes. But that's to some extent what's happening. Now, the other thing I'd recommend you do, I'll jump into Ads Manager. So I've created an example campaign here and I've got an example ad set up and I've scrolled down to the bottom, optimization for an ad delivery section, okay? And then we click on the see more options and you can see we've got attribution setting here. Now I've got a whole video about attribution setting and what you want to use. I'll include a link in the video description below. You can check that out. But what I'd recommend you do is you go with 7-day click. If you want to work out why and which options, other options and what they mean, check out that video. I won't talk about that here. But go with 7-day click. It gives you more data, gives you longer, means that Facebook is going to be modeling less. If you go with 1-day click, basically all that data is modeled. Very, very inaccurate. 7-day click is the better option. I said you can check that out, but that's something else I wanted to mention. Now, the third thing I want to talk about, and if we go down, I believe it's down here, in this section. Oh, no, have I got the wrong part here? Yes, here we go. It's in this section here, actions you can take. I was on the wrong document. Okay, So what can you do to help with the modeled data? And we know that the modeled data is coming in because of the reporting delay, which I've already told you how to deal with. You just give yourself a lot more time. But it's also coming in, model data is being used because of the holes we've got. We can't see exactly what conversions iOS 14 users, for example, are generating. So here's what you do. First thing is you make sure that you configure your web events in aggregated event measurement, which is all to do with the Facebook pixel. If you haven't done that already, make sure you do it. I'll include a link in the video description below, how to set up your pixel, how to verify your domain, how to set up your web events in aggregated event measurement. It sounds super complicated. It's not. Please just go through that video to work it all out. The next thing you want to do is set up the conversions API. That's going to help fill in some of the data holes, which is the other part of the model data. So you've got the reporting delay side of things basically taken care of by giving yourself more time. And you've got some of the data holes, not all of them, helped by setting up aggregated events measurement and installing Conversions API. I haven't got a video yet on Conversions API. By the time you're watching this, if you're not watching this when it's just come out, I may well do. So just search my channel or have a look. Facebook's got information on that. You can follow this link to get that set up. And yeah, those are the actions you can take to help overcome this reporting delay model data issue that, as I said, may be impacting your ability to optimize because you're doing things too quickly, Facebook's ability to optimize because they don't have data, and that can have a negative impact on results. Get these things taken care of and you're likely to see significantly better results because of that, okay? Hopefully that wasn't too complicated. Hopefully you got some nice takeaways from that. Before you go, a couple of things I want to mention. The first is a brand new free training I've created called the One Facebook Ads Technique that will supercharge your results more than anything else. And there's a link in the description below. It's completely free to go through this webinar. And in it, I demonstrate in full the one technique. If someone's coming to me to Facebook ads, and people do all the time because they know I'm in the industry, friends of mine who have businesses and things, and they'll say, what's the one thing that I should work on, that I should get right, that's going to help me more than anything else? It's that. I show you exactly how to do it. So strongly recommend you go through that webinar, completely free. It's about 45 minutes long. Links in the video description, well worth your time. Other thing I want to mention is YouTube channel membership. So you can now become a member of my YouTube channel, and members get certain perks like priority replies to comments. So there's more comments now being asked on my videos than I can get to. So I've had to implement a system where I only dedicate a certain amount of time each day to answering comments. And I know these comments are super important to you guys. They might be make or break for your Facebook ad campaigns, which is going to impact your business. So I really want to do my best to answer them, but obviously there's only so much time in a day. So what I'm doing is I'm prioritizing member comments. If you go ahead and become a member, it costs a small monthly fee. You go ahead and become a member, I'm going to basically guarantee as much as I can. I may miss one from time to time, but I'm going to guarantee that I answer all member comments. And then the time I have left over, I'm going to answer the other comments from non-members. So if you've got questions for me, you want your comments answered, it's a very cost-effective way, much more than, say, my consulting sessions, to get those answered is to become a member of my YouTube channel, and I'll answer those first. And you also get access to member-only polls, so I'm going to ask members what content they want me to create. So if you want to have a say in that, then that's a great way to do it. And also you get to support my channel. I've had hundreds of people over the years say, really appreciate your content. How can I help out? It's all free, etc., etc. That's how you can become a member, help support the channel, helps me create better quality videos, dedicate more time to it. So that'd be much appreciated. So if you're interested, just click the join button beneath this video. That'll bring up a window that basically you won't join immediately. You can just find out the information about it and see if it's right for you or not. And if you do become a member, fantastic. If you found this video useful, thumbs up, always thumbs up. That really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't done so already. I release Facebook ads related content all the time. Really important stuff like this that you have to know, have to get right if you want the best possible results, particularly as more changes are happening to Facebook ads. And comment below. Whether you become a member or not, comment below. I see all the comments. I'll answer as many as I can. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Bye for now.